Stampers, and welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. I have the fabulous background of all of these cards is pink because it is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I thought I would show my support with a fabulous pink background on my October videos. So today I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can use ribbon. Ribbon tends to be one of my favorite embellishments. I guess that is after pearls, rhinestones, and candy dots for a little bling. But I love ribbon. It's always sort of one of the things that I go to first whenever I'm looking to spruce up my card a little bit with a little foo-foo. So I thought I would show you a couple different ways that I use ribbon because there's many different ways to tie knots, to tie bows, to get a knot look but not have to deal with the intricate details of the ribbon or something like that. So there's just lots of different ways that you can use ribbon. Here for this card, I actually just used a strip of ribbon. So it just goes right across. And it's adhered, the ends are adhered underneath there. This one actually does go to the inside of my card, so you can see that there. But you could also have done it just on the Pacific Point piece of cardstock, and then it wouldn't show on the inside. But again, the two ends are just adhered on the back there, and it's just a nice little strip of ribbon for some texture there. This one actually has the knot there, and this one does go to the inside of the card as well, and I tied it into a knot. This one doesn't go to the inside of the card. I did it just on the Whisper White piece here, and I tied it in yellow, the Daffodil Delight, and tied it into a double knot. And then I just added little strips, so this is great to use up those little last pieces that you have on the end of a roll, or maybe you trimmed a piece off and it ended up being bigger than you thought, so you thought maybe you should save it as a scrap piece. So I just did a melon mambo and pumpkin pie, just one single knot. I didn't have to double knot it, just on that Daffodil Delight strip. So super cute, adds lots of color and everything. This one here I used in Rich Razzleberry, and I used a strip going across, and then I used the fork bow technique. I'll leave a link down below for the video on the fork bow. And I just added the little fork bow there on top of that strip that goes across, so it looks like an adorable little bow tied with the ribbon there. Then this one here I actually did as a strip of ribbon and then tied a knot around it. So that's kind of like a faux knot. And I'll show you how I did that, as well as showing you how I did a lot of those other ones. So here I just have a piece of scrap Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using some Rich Razzleberry cotton ribbon. So you could always just take a strip and go across, and then on the back just take some adhesive and put a little adhesive here, wrap that around, put a little adhesive on the other side, and wrap that around and cut off the excess. So we're just going to trim there, and I just take a little bit of the snail adhesive, or you could always put a little Stampin' Dimensional if your project is going to be, oh, I had that twisted, if your project is going to be stuck with Stampin' Dimensionals anyway. So there I just added that little strip there, and you could leave it like I did in this first card here. You could always add a little faux bow to it, which I have here, and then of course you could trim off your little ends, like I did in this card here. And again, I'll put that link down below for that faux bow. Or another option that you could do is you could then slide one of these other strips and make a little knot. So just tie just a single knot. So this is super handy when you have a bulky ribbon, because when you have a bulky ribbon, sometimes that knot can be kind of chunky and not very smooth to go through the mail. So you can do a single knot whenever you do a faux knot like this, and then just trim your tails there. There we go. So there you have that little faux knot, and you can make your tails as long or as short as you want, and that's what I did for this one here. I just did a strip going across and then just added that little piece there. Or you could add multiple knots like I did on that one. The other thing that you could do is you could take a knot and leave it kind of loose, and then adhere the ends to the back and just have that nice little soft knot there, which is super squishy, so it'll definitely mail nice and well as it's very loose. and it smashes very easily. So you could always just do just a simple knot and then tie the ends around to the back side as well. So lots of definite great ways to use your ribbon for different knots or bows. Of course, one of the other ones I showed this in another video, but you can also do the bow where you do the bunny ears. So this is kind of a short piece, but you do a bunny ear with your 2 pointer fingers here and just loop those in, pull those out, and with your 2 little loops, tie a knot. And then of course you can pull tight. One other little tip that I have for you on that is you can always, you know, like sometimes whenever you pull this end and then pull the other end, and then when you pull tight again, you end up with super long loops again and you feel like you're not really getting anywhere. One of the things you can do is hold on to one of the loops, like the top or the bottom, and pull. And then that means that this center knot is not loosening at all. Here, let me move that so maybe you can see a little bit better. That center knot is not loosening. So I can pull, and then I'm just going to pull tight, and it's not going to come back out again. So again, I'm just going to take this one, hold that top loop, and, well, no, the bottom loop. No, it was the top one, sorry. Hold that top one. You'll know if you pull and you're not going anywhere, then you'll need to hold the opposite one. So let's get that little one. And I'm pulling on the bottom to make those equal loops. And then you can always manipulate your ribbon too. Don't think that because it's not going the way you want, you can't just like yank and pull and twist and move. And again, if it's still not working perfectly for you, take a little mini glue dot and stick it. Stick it right there on the back there, and it'll hold your little pieces down perfectly or up perfectly or to the side perfectly. So feel free to use mini glue dots to kind of hold your bows and ribbons to exactly where you want them to be. So lots of great ways to use ribbon. I'll have links to all of these pictures of the cards that I have done on my blog. And then of course I'll leave that link to that the fork bow there on down below. Be sure to check out my blog, laurastamppad.com, to see more on ribbon and these samples. And I'll see you next time. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.